The next phase that comes after the sacrificial lamb escapes is the damage control phase. We've got beach, sideways, and cover up and money. And that beach card, that came out first, very quickly. And I wasn't quite clear as to what that meant, but then I got some more context and got this cover up and money. And the first thing, of course, that came to mind with the Guy Fawkes mask is the hacktivist group, Anonymous. So maybe something was done electronically in some way, because I'm still following this storyline that started with the Watcher reading with Cethariel, and that's a reading where we had talked about the sacrificial lamb biting back and actually standing up for themselves and not letting themselves fall to their demise, like fall to that plan with the it was the prop knife and the theater example. So we'll get some more info here. Got the witch runes out because I'm really curious, because there is that sacrificial lamb idea, but why? For what would you be scapegoated for? This is the masculine, and it always makes me think of the Tyr rune, Tyr, the Norse god that sacrificed his right arm to bind Fenrir, to at least delay Ragnarok. But this came out sideways, that's the way I picked it up. So maybe that's a alternating of who will be the sacrifice. Like that's the putting you in place to be the scapegoat. But for what? I'm not sure. Let's see. And I got the Kawaii Cat Tarot out here because I thought this person, or people, because we've talked about there might be a group involved too, probably want to come across like unassuming as the innocent party or parties, because that example that I brought up, Anonymous, that's a group. Let's see. Just taking the bottom one. Four of Swords, rest. And that kind of follows the beach card. Trying to get to a restful end. I don't know how you being a sacrificial lamb, like where's the money involved in this? Because that was involved in the theater example too. Like there's something scapegoating you has some sort of financial yield, and then it leads to, I don't know, retirement on a beach is the idea. But I also got from that beach sideways that's like trying to escape. So something, there goes the clock, the chime. Something was blundered. Maybe the sacrificial lamb biting back. And now something needs to be covered up. So something's trying to be done quickly. I don't know if it's actually literally leaving or just trying to secure the outcome that was desired. Oh, there's two. There's the devil. He's so angry. It's such a cute deck. Look how angry he is. And 7 of coins in reverse. And that devil card almost didn't come out. So somebody's being impatient. Maybe there's a risk being taken. Because maybe rest is needed. Maybe this has been going on for a really long time and the stamina is running out. So trying to bring things to an end so that they can rest. Which, if the goal was to sacrifice somebody, whatever, scapegoat them, I don't think they deserve rest. Like, why would they deserve that? No rest for the wicked, as they say. But what's going on with this devil? Because that could be contracts, that could be addictions. Perched bird, waiting for news, package, or letter. Oh, maybe whatever outcome, whatever beachy outcome they're looking for is taking too long for their taste. So starting to rush something. Impulsive decisions. Wealth. Reinforcement on that money. Impulsive decisions about money. I'm trying to think back to that theater example. So I brought up, like, there might be an extra layer involved. Like, the theater was going to go under, and they not only knew the person that was in, like, a private equity firm or something that might be trying to buy the theater, but there was also this plot with the not prop knife that they were involved with too. It's like there's a lot of irons in the fire here. It's kind of like trying to deal with a money problem by illicit means, illegal means, but also having some sort of personal grudge. And that's like getting in the way. It's adding a layer of emotion that wouldn't otherwise be there. It's going to interfere with problem solving. Beetle, good fortune, more wealth. So really trying to secure money. I'm still not understanding how you, or whomever the her that was represented in that Cesario reading, like, what's that connection? That's what I want to know. What's the connection between you and whatever this money is? Or thing of value. It doesn't necessarily have to be money. Could be the theater, could be a position, something like that. Like a job. I'm almost getting politics too. Like whether or not you'll be the one running. About home. The connection to you is home. Gonna need a little bit more. A home could be literal. Like this is a battle over a home. And inheritance and an estate. Something like that. What else about home? Intuition, but it was in reverse. Is this something you don't know about? Something of value that you don't know about that somebody's trying to, like, take out from under you? Like, that's the only way that this would work. Something like this is if you don't know about the thing, because then you could show up at whatever meetings or, what is it, probate court, something like that, to be like, yes, I am in fact alive and mentally stable, and like whatever tactic was being used to try and take this out from under you. So what else about this thing of value that we might not know about. Crossroads. So, Hecate, she's the first idea that comes to mind. Leading someone through the dark. Because she did help locate Persephone when Demeter was like raising the earth with famine because she couldn't find Persephone. So a guide, like a psychopomp, someone to lead you to the thing, whatever the thing is. And what I'm curious too, maybe we'll get a little bit more here. If you don't know about this thing, how does this person know about this thing of value? Because it's almost like the sacrificial lamb don't want you to find out. Like that's the reason for the scapegoating and whatnot. Because they want to gain control of something before you find out about it. And this could be family that came up in the last short with Marcosius, I think it was. Associated to Arias reading. But I got Cancer again on the dice roll and South Node and 11th house. So Cancer references family. South Node, lessons to be learned, things to address, conflict and such. And 11th house can be community. So whatever context that may be in. So how does this person know but you don't? Queen of Wands in reverse. So this is a very charming individual. Like Queen of Swords in reverse. I put that as like a covert narcissist. Queen of Wands would be pretty similar in the reverse, but using different tactics, more charm, more passion, more like a partner that gets you to revisit a vice that you've given up or something, or gets you hooked on something that you wouldn't otherwise get hooked on. Kind of a nefarious individual. Kind of understands human drive, motivation, behavioral motivation. Like the show Lucifer, when he's like, what is it you truly desire? This kind of energy. So they know what you desire, what somebody desires. I'm gonna need a little bit more. What else about this Queen of Wands? Oh, quiet now. There we go. Two of Cups in reverse. A not relationship. Pick me. That's somebody that like, oh, your ex sounds crazy. Like something like that. Like, I would never. Or, sure, it's fine that we just sleep together with no commitment, no strings, like whatever. Which, if that works for you, cool. Like, whatever. No judgment. But it's someone that's doing that to an end. They have something of value in mind to obtain. Maybe somebody's wealth, an inheritance, like if there's like a massive age gap, like 50 years or something like that. Like, no, we're totally in love. Like, nope, you're after this person's who has no next of kin, like their wealth, something like that. But maybe you're like the last next of kin. You're the only one. And so, in order to get that, they'd have to subvert you in some way. And that's just an example. I don't know how that would translate into other not soap opera examples, but that's just kind of the vibe. Ten of Wands in reverse, the never-ending burden. Because if they're taking something of value that was supposed to go to you and it's not, especially if it's financial, it could be digging you out of debt. Like you, that's like crackling now. But now you don't have a resource to dig you out of debt that is rightfully yours. Because this person is trying to take it out from under you. And that could also translate to like a job opportunity. Like if you needed something just because economy and you needed additional income to get by and you weren't given an opportunity or you didn't know about an opportunity or something like that, that's money out of your pocket. So what else about this pick-me? Tell me more about this pick-me. Oh, there we go. Cracked cup, dissatisfaction with life, so they're miserable. Oh, there's two. April, these were both in reverse. And jug, light-hearted, carefree time. So I'm getting Demeter from this. Like when Persephone was absconded with to the underworld. Just famine and decay and like, look, if we don't locate her daughter and we don't figure out what happens, there's not going to be an earth, a humanity. It's the never-ending burden, the Ten of Wands in reverse. And this lighthearted, carefree time, it's kind of hard to have one of those if you're dealing with dissatisfaction with life. I'm no expert, but I don't think stealing from others is going to improve that. Like maybe the temporary dopamine rush. But I don't know. There's all sorts of little dopamine machines around. It's kind of an interesting effect on human behavior. And so if you know you have something that's got you dopamine chasing, figure out how to re-engage with it. Like maybe abstinence is the right choice. That's a methodology. But it might also be managing the behavior. Like if you're dealing with online shopping. That's an easy one because there's so many like cheapo little things I can just buy now. They'll get here in 2 days. You get the same dopamine rush from putting it in your cart as if you actually purchased it. You don't actually need to make the purchase. So if you can engage with that without actually purchasing it, that could be a way to manage that behavior. So kind of got to feel it out, feel out what works for you. So this pick-me knows about something that you have a connection to. Something of value. How? How do they know and you don't? marriage or wedding. It's kind of like that 50-year age gap. Like, no, we're totally in love. Age gaps are interesting. I kind of feel like something like 15 years can be the top end of the relatability gap. And it also depends on the actual age of the two people. Because, like, 25 and 40 and 35 and 50, those are different age gaps. And it depends on the emotional maturity and, like, all these things. But I feel like this pick-me just said what needed to be said to obtain the contract, whatever it is. Might not actually be a marriage or a wedding. It could be a business partnership. It could be a job. So what? How was this obtained? How was the contract obtained? Because that could be representative of the devil card too. Using vices and such. Oh no. Jeez. Well, we've got unaliving, which this sounds like a soap opera. And death in reverse and self-deletion in reverse. Oh my goodness gracious. So if this, it's a big world out there. So anytime cards like this come up, it's just, could be the vibe, could be that we live on a planet with 8 billion people, you know, variables. But it's like some sort of self-deletion that wasn't a self-deletion. Like what are they called? Alpine marriages or alpine divorces? I've been seeing that phrase a lot recently. Like going out to a hike or something and then leaving them out there. Like causing some sort of accident and like leaving them out there. And so beach could be having to do with water, a body of water. You know, if it's somebody with like money, could be on a boat. Could be just a lake house, you know, something like that. But that could be the idea with this contract, with this union, whatever it is. But I'm kind of... And this... I try to speak metaphorically first and foremost, but everybody knows their own situation best. If you feel worried for your safety, please seek help, of course. If you're in the way, in the succession line, like, how many stories and books and shows and movies are there about subverting the succession and how that's done? So maybe something is supposed to go to you. And the only, like literally only way that it won't is if you're not in the picture. But maybe this is getting found out as the clock chimes. Because the example in the Sithariel reading was that you, whomever, discovered the not prop knife. So we're like circling back. Which I think that was right around the beginning of the lunar cycle, and we're coming up on the blue moon in Sagittarius. Oh, I forgot a rune. So maybe that, like, discovering of the not prop knife, whatever that represents, that could be the blue moon. The, like, found this by chance. You found some sort of paperwork by chance and discovered, like, hey, I'm supposed to have this house or this piece of jewelry, like, whatever. Yeah, the all-seeing eye. Eye of providence. Something is seen. What is it? What is seen? Could be a plot. Man, it'd be like... like, it's not funny, but it's funny. All the memes that were coming out around the release of the Epstein files that were like, man, I had no idea how much crime involved Microsoft Outlook. Like, all these emails, like, it just seems silly. Because those Alpine divorces and stuff like that, like all those headlines that I see about that, there's inevitably a, well, we checked their search history and guilty as sin. Knight of Cups, a messenger. That's like discovering intent and being surprised by it, because normally or that's the Page of Cups that has little fish in it. So some sort of message being brought. Because that can be the knight in shining armor archetype idea. We have mentioned white knighting recently. So maybe what's seen was the intention to, like, be the white knight. Like a, I don't know, a text group chat or something with a conspirator? Is that the right word? Like somebody that was in on it. Like, say this person is actually involved with somebody, and like they're both trying to secure a bag by any means other than honest work. Something like that. And not to say it isn't incredibly difficult to secure what you need through honest work, because of the way things are set up. They're making it nearly impossible these days. So I don't have, like, it's not lost on me why people would try something. Maybe not completely legal. This is way past that, though. Like, I'm not talking about somebody who's stealing food because they're not going to make it, or they're stealing baby formula because they must feed their child and they have no other options. Something like that. No, this is way different. This is like somebody trying to maintain their lifestyle rather than just accepting they need to downsize or something. It's almost like con artists. Like, this is what they do for a job. The moon, yeah, it's hidden. Something secretive. Kind of speaks to that lunar cycle too. And maybe this is like they're really good. Really good. But they messed up. Like, something happened. I don't know what. Bad fortune. Yeah, okay. Wheel of Fortune in reverse. It could just be that their time was up. That, like, they've been doing this so long, they had plenty of opportunities to turn it around, and finally, like, the Wheel of Fortune would be like Nemesis or the Morrigan, like that kind of effect of fate. Like, it's time to rebalance the scales of all this havoc you've wrought. Let's see. So what shifted the wheel? Oh, there's the scales, speaking of. So it's time. Yeah. Dog, protection from a powerful friend. So that could be the Morrigan or Nemesis, anyone associated to fate, inevitability, retribution, justice. Scales, keep your life in balance. And flowers in reverse, happiness. They're not going to be happy about this outcome. That doesn't mean the scales are being improperly balanced. It could even be an indicator that they're being properly balanced with how many people are unhappy about it. Because how many people have been benefiting off the scales being out of balance. And that's really something that grinds my gears, is when there's a lot of people who know something is wrong and they're just letting it happen. They're just letting people get hurt, and sometimes to a unchangeable degree. It'd be like this kind of effect, like somebody knowing that a batch of medicine is bad and not issuing a recall. Something like that kind of large swath of people. But the wheel will turn. Let's see. So what? How are the scales getting balanced? How is this wheel turning? Family? I'll take them all for context. Let's see. Because that can be a whole group. Family, gift, jealousy in reverse, and imprisonment. So, family, gift. That could refer to whatever was of value within this structure. Not jealous. That doesn't feel quite right. Hidden jealousy, leading to imprisonment, being imprisoned, a double card, by their own stuff, own inability to regulate their own emotions. I'm almost getting like a, in regards to this Coverup and money, it's almost like a down payment. That car honking in the background was pretty faint. I don't know if the mic picked that up, but some sort of money gift that had strings attached to it. Like it was supposed to be a token of good faith, but it's really like it's loaded. Could even be like baby trapping, something like that. And it could just be out of jealousy. This person just not wanting you to get your dues. Maybe they just don't like you. Or they think themselves above you and they're taking it upon themselves like, well, they don't deserve it, so I'm gonna like wreck their life. Well, that's how you end up in prison. Which, if that's what they're doing with their time, that's where they belong. Messing around with other people's lives. But what? Tell me more about this little cluster here. The sun. Something being illuminated. And it did a little spin there. And the sun card, upright or reversed, something is getting illuminated eventually. It's not going to be able to be blocked. So, what's getting illuminated? Temperance and the Star. And Temperance is a card of alchemy. And Star is a card of healing. And they both have that water in there, so a healing of emotions. So this being revealed will bring healing for everyone involved, even if it is somebody ending up in prison. Not that I'm advocating that the way things are currently done is a healing system, but I'm talking about protecting victims. Because they had, from what I'm gathering here, all the opportunity in the world to take it upon themselves to do the right thing. They had time. And, I mean, they had time to not make these choices in the first place. Also, there's that. And healing is messy. It's uncomfortable. It's painful. It's not the sunshine and smiles and running through a meadow on brochures and things like that. It's hard. It breaks you down to the core, especially if someone was willing to go to some extensive length like this to hurt you. And it sounds like just because they don't like you for some reason. Seven of Swords, yeah. Trying to take something of yours. Because that's the taking of the swords from the warring camp before the battle in the morning. Trying to take your resources. Oh no, this is the 6. My bad. Is that right? 5, 6. No. I got confused because he's holding 4. Normally they're holding 5. So, oh, interesting. This might be some sort of punishment. Like, it's not just that they don't like you, they're trying to punish you for something. Like we mentioned, rejection in a couple of readings, so it could be something like that. But 4 of Swords is rest. 3 of Swords is heartbreak. So trying to take your rest and give you heartbreak. So it'd be like psychological torment. Trying to make sure that not only are you having a difficult time, but you don't have the resources to get out of it. Like somebody that needs to be kept away from other humans because they're dangerous. And this is not just some simple sort of something. It's not even throwing rocks and hiding hands. It's like beating you with rocks and then stealing all of your medical supplies and lighting your house on fire. Like really going to the furthest extent to mess with your life. And to try and make it look like you did it. God, how twisted is that? Like if we take it out of the more literal, like an not self-deletion, unaliving plot, but into a like psychological warfare. Like the extent someone would have to go to like bully you, like coercive control, things like that. It's like everywhere you turn, nothing is working out for you, no matter what you do, and with no real explanation. It's like this haunting torment that you can't figure out. Like, why can't I get out of this? Why can't I make the same changes in my life other people are able to make. And there's all sorts of different causes and whatnot for that, but anybody who's doing that to another person, they need to be kept away from the public. That's not just bullying. That's way past that. Let's see. December, so the end of the year, an end to this situation. Harp, great happiness, but then we've got happiness in reverse and coins in reverse. Money will be coming to you. And so scales, 2 and 2. So I think this side is you, December and harp, and coins and happiness is them. They're not going to be happy that they're not acquiring this coin, acquiring this thing of value. Maybe it's status. I don't know. Maybe this is like character assassination, something like that. But it doesn't necessarily have to mean you'll be waiting until December for great happiness. It's like the end of this situation, once everything gets illuminated and healing is really able to occur, that's where the great happiness will be. Like, I don't like to assign happiness to a then, like the destination addiction, things like that. But when you're entrenched in a situation, it's important to recognize the impact that it's having on you while it's still active. And it's totally reasonable to just acknowledge that, no, being grateful right now would be disingenuous because I'm taking a beating right now. I'm not grateful for that. I'm not grateful for what this person is through. Yes, someday I might find the meaning in it. Yes, I might see the lesson and everything, but I need to heal. We can't skip that part of the actual processing of it and letting my nervous system absorb the shock of, because you might not have a single clue this is going on in the background until it completely comes to light that you had somebody with this kind of hate for you in whatever context that may be. And it's a real shock to the system when the puzzle pieces to something like this all come together and you realize someone not only isn't who they said they were, but it's a much, much darker picture than you could have ever imagined. So let's get a escapism a little bit. Something to take our mind off of this craziness, whatever it represents. Superliminal. That's a fun one. That's a good game. It's one of those puzzle games. It's like, it's kind of like Portal. Very calming narrator. It's a really interesting game too. I think it was on Game Pass for a little bit. I don't know if it's still on there, but it's worth picking up if you don't have it. I really enjoyed it. So something like that, an activity that isn't totally passive, but something that gets you into flow state, you know, puzzles, drawing, going for a walk, whatever it is that will help take you out of whatever surrounding situation is going on and just decompress for a bit. It may not actually resolve the situation, but you'll be better able to withstand it if you're more relaxed and you're able to reduce some of your stress. So overall, I hope this helps. I hope it doesn't resonate, but if you're going through something this Kafka-esque, this crazy, I hope you're taking care of yourself, and we'll see you next time.